Good day! I hope you're fine. Okay? So this day, we are going to have another topic. Okay? Which is the system of linear inequalities. But before we proceed with that, that is very much related with our topic last week. So I prepare here a slide wherein you are going to have a review for our topic last week. So let us have this question wherein you are going to graph the linear inequality x plus y is less than 3. Okay? So you have to take note, you have to recall on the steps that we have last week, wherein you are going to change the inequality sign to equal sign. And then, proceed in plotting and graphing the points, and until you can determine, you have determined the part that you are going to shade. Okay? So I hope you already have your Cartesian plane beside you so that you can answer this inequality. Again, graph x plus y is less than 3. Okay, so I hope you already have. So let's check if you have the correct answer. So for us to have this will be the first point by using the slope-intercept form, that will be 0, 3. And then the second point will be by using the slope. So you have here the second point, and then you are going to determine what kind of line you have to use for you to connect the 2 points. Since we are given inequality symbol less than, so what kind of line are you going to use? Is it a broken line or a solid line? Yes, you are going to use broken line. And then you have to think that the region that you are going to shade will be correct. Okay? So which do you think is the region that you are going to shade? Okay, yes, you are going to shade this region. Okay, so again, you have to shade this region. Okay, so this part is the solution of x plus y is less than 3. If you do not want to test a point, so you are going to recall that PowerPoint or the video that I have sent to you last week, wherein if you have the symbol less than, so you are going to shade below the line. Okay, so let's have another example. We have here to graph x minus y is greater than or equal to negative 1. Okay, so how are you going to have the points here? Okay, correct. So we have here the first point will be on 0, 1, and then the second point will be negative 1, 0. Okay? You may also use x and y intercepts, okay, or the takip method. Okay? And then you are going to think what kind of line you are going to use. Determine the kind of line. Since our inequality symbol is greater than or equal, so the kind of line will be correct, a solid line. And then think which part are you going to shade. Okay? Since our symbol is greater than or equal, but since our y is negative, so you have, yes, so you are going to shade this 1. Okay. So if you are going to combine the two linear inequalities in one Cartesian plane, so we will have the graph of x plus y is less than 3 and x minus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 1. So again, on the first inequality, we have here the shaded region. On the second inequality, we have here the shaded region. So what have you noticed? Yes, we have here a double shaded region. Okay, so this is an example of what we are going to have this day. Okay, because this day we are going to have our topic, which is graphing systems of linear inequalities. Are you ready? Okay, so again, I am hoping that you already have the Cartesian plane beside you so that you can follow the instructions. Okay, so let's have here the example of graphing method. You are going to graph the system of linear inequality. So, when we say system of linear inequality, it is just the same with the system of linear equation. Okay? So, if systems of linear equations are having two linear equations, so when we say system of inequality, so that is composed of two or more linear inequalities. Okay? Sometimes we have two variables, sometimes we only have one variable. So, let us see. Okay? So, if we are going to graph this, so let us follow these steps. Okay? So, the first step is for you to graph the first inequality on the Cartesian plane. So, again, the first inequality is x plus y is less than or equal to 6. Okay? So, I will give you time to graph this. Again, you are going to graph x plus y is less than or equal to 6. Since this given is very easy, so you may also use the x and y intercept. So you can already have that 2 points. So if you are going to have the x and y intercept, you will obtain 6, 0 and 0, 6. Then you are going to plot. But of course, before connecting the points, determine the kind of line that you are going to use. Okay? So since we have less than or equal, so you have to determine the kind of line. Okay? So I hope you already have your solution or graph. Okay? So your graph will result with this one. Okay? So we have here by 2's. Our units is by 2. So we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8. Then negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8, and then negative 10. Okay. So we have here again 0, 6, and 6, 0. So this is 6, 0, and this is 0, 6. And then the kind of line that you have to use will be solid line because of or equal. Okay? So again, this will be the shaded part of the first inequality. X plus y is less than or equal to 6. Okay. So let's proceed with the second inequality. So you are going to use the same Cartesian plane for you to have the second inequality. So our second inequality is 2x minus y is greater than 4. Okay? So, on the same Cartesian plane, again, on the same Cartesian plane, you are going to graph 2x minus y is greater than 4. Okay? Yes, you may also use x and y intercepts here instead of slope intercept form. So, you may select which is more appropriate and which one is easier for you to use, or which method is easier for you to use. Okay? So let's have your answer. So I hope you have this one because hey, so since our given inequality symbol is less than or greater than rather, so greater than, so you are going to use a broken line for you to have the line of our graph. Okay? So this will be the first point, this will be the other point. Okay? So what if you have to combine the graph in one Cartesian plane? So what have you find out? So what happens when we graph both inequalities simultaneously? Okay, so I hope you have this picture or this graph of your system. Okay, so you have discovered coolness wherein you may say, wow. Hey, why? Because we have the so-called solution. Okay? So the solution to the system is the brown region where the two shaded areas coincide. So this is, as I have said, the shaded region. But since we already have the system, so this is the double, again, we have here double shaded region. Oops, I'm so sorry. Okay, so again, we have here the double shaded region. And this brown color are the points that will satisfy both the linear inequalities in our given system. And you have to take note that the green region and the red regions are outside the solution set. Okay? So the green is only for the first inequality, the red one is for the second inequality, and brown will be for both the first inequality and the second inequality. Okay? Question? Okay, so let's have this question. So, what are the steps? So, again, graph the first inequality. So, and then after that, shade lightly or use colored pencils. Then after that, graph the second inequality. Shade lightly or use colored pencils. And then, shade darkly over the common region of intersection. And that will serve as your solution. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Okay, so again, if you are going to use the slope-intercept form, so the first one step is write the inequalities in slope-intercept form. The number 2, use the slope and y-intercept form to plot the lines or the points. And then draw in the line. Again, take note that if you are going to use the solid line, make sure that the inequality symbols are less than or equal to or greater than or equal to for solid line. And if you are going to use a dashed line, dotted line, or the broken lines, so make sure that your given inequality symbol is less than or greater than. Okay. Then after that, after determining the line, so you are going to pick a point above the line or below the line. Then test the point in the inequality. If it makes the inequality true, then shade the region that contains the point. If the point makes the inequality false, shade the region on the other side of the line. Or if you do not want to test that point or a point, so you have to remember this. Do not forget this hint. Okay? And additional info, don't forget to flip the sign if you divide by a negative number. So, we have here the hint. If you have the symbol greater than or equal, shade above. Then less than or equal to, shade below. Okay? So, another is for the systems of inequality. So, again, you have to sum it up. Follow steps 1 to 4 for each inequality. Then, find the region where the solutions to the two inequalities would overlap. And this is the region that should be shaded. Okay? So, any question for the steps? Okay. So, let us have our examples. Graph the following linear system of inequalities. Our given are y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 4 and y is less than or equal to 3x plus 2. Okay, so since the inequalities are already written in the slope-intercept form, so let us just use that method. Then after that, you are going to draw in the line. So since our given in the first inequality is greater than or equal to, so you are going to use a solid line. Then pick a point and test it in the inequality and then shade the appropriate region. Or you may also use your hint that since our symbol is greater than or equal, so you are going to shade upward or above the line. So, how would it be? So, this will be your boundary line and the shaded region will be which? Okay, yes, we have here the upward or the above the line. Okay, so we have here the second inequality also. So, we are going to do the same for the second inequality. Y is less than negative 3x plus 2. Okay? So, let us have, since again, it is already written in the slope-intercept form, so let us use that method. And then, you are going to draw in the line. So, since our symbol or linear inequality symbol is less than, so we have dashed line, broken line, or dotted line. Then pick a point and test it in the inequality. Then shade the appropriate region. Okay, so this is the shade of the first inequality. So where are we going to shade the second inequality? So as you have noticed, okay, so we have here the shade of the second inequality, the red one. And then we may say that this will be the double shaded region. So the solution to the system of inequalities is the region where the solutions to each inequality overlap. So in Tagalog, nagpatong ang dalawang kulay, ang dalawang shade ninyo. Okay? So this is the region above or to the left of the green line and below or to the left of the blue line. Okay, so again, this orange one is the solution of our given system. Y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 4 and y is less than 3x plus 2. Okay, question? Okay, so let's have another example. Okay, so for number 1, let us graph the following linear systems of inequalities again. So we have here y is greater than negative x plus 4 and y is greater than x minus 2. Okay, so where are we going to graph this? Again, it is easy if the given inequality is already written in the slope-intercept form. So you may use that y-intercept for you to have the first point and the slope for the second point. So just use rise over run. Then determine the line. So since we have greater than, so we have to use broken line. And then shade the appropriate region. Greater than will be above the line. Okay? So that is the graph of the first inequality. For the second inequality, let us have this one. Okay? Okay, so, and then you are going to look for the double shaded region. Yes, correct. So, you have here the double shaded region or the final solution. Okay, or the solutions that overlap. So, the final solution is the region where the two shaded areas overlap. Okay, so this is the purple region now in this slide. Okay, question? Okay, for the third example, let us have y plus 1 is less than 2x. Okay, so you have to rewrite this first to the slope-intercept form. Okay, so this will become y is less than 2x minus 1. And then the other given is y is less than or equal to x plus 3. Okay, so as you have noticed, we have different inequality symbol. So the first one is less than and the other one is with or equal. Okay, so let's have the graph. So I hope you have your answer on your Cartesian planes there. Okay, you try it. Okay, so let's have here the graph of the first inequality. We have here negative 1 and then using the slope 2, count 2 places or 2 units upward and 1 unit to the right because it is positive, and then connect the lines by using dotted line because we are given less than symbol. Okay, and then you are going to decide where is the shaded region. So where it should be. Okay, so you are going to test a point. So using 0, 0, so you will obtain 0 is less than negative 1, which is false. So if you are going to test this, so it is false. And again, you have to make sure that the shaded region is true. So therefore, you are going to shade this one. Okay? And then, and again, another hint, less than is below the line. The second inequality, y is less than or equal to x plus 3. Wherein, you are going to, yes, you are going to plot the points. So 0, 3, and then 1 unit upward, 1 unit to the right, and then determine the kind of line. Yes, that is a solid line because of less than or equal to. And then you are going to determine which part are you going to shade. So using 0, 0 again, so this will result to 0 is less than 3, which is true. Okay, since it is true, so since this is true, so therefore, you are going to shade this part. Okay, so as you have seen, we have here the double shaded region, or, or this part, this green. Okay, so this is the solution of our system of inequality because we have here the double shaded region. Okay, or since this is the place where the two inequalities overlap. Okay, question? Okay, for the last two examples, let us have example 4. We are going to use again graphing system of two inequalities wherein you are going to graph the system of linear inequalities given. So this time you only have one variable. So the first is x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay, so you are going to have this point. And then since we have here greater than or equal, so you are going to use solid line. Okay? And then think or decide which part are you going to shade. Is it the left or the right? Correct. It is the right because if you're going to substitute 0, so again, this is x is equal to 0. So it will result to 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2. So you are going to the right part or right side because it is 2. Next, we have x is less than 3. So you are going to look first for x is less than 3 or for x is equal to 3 rather. Then you have to take note of the inequality symbol. Yes, you are going to use dotted lines. Okay? And then you are going to decide which part are you going to shade. Is it to the right or to the left? Correct. It is on the left because if you are going to substitute 0 again, so 0 is less than 3. So why do I use 0 in checking? So that you can easily solve that instead of using negative numbers. Okay? So as you have noticed, we already have here the double shaded region. So this time, this is the purple region. Okay? Question? Okay. For the last example, let us have this. Y is less than or equal to 4 and x is greater than negative 1. Okay? So for our first inequality, since we are given y is less than or equal to 4, so you will have there the point. And then since we have the symbol less than or equal to, so you are going to use a solid line. Then less than means, yes, smaller value. So therefore, that will be 0 for checking again. Okay, for testing point. So we have here 0. So 0 is less than 4 since it is true. So you're going to shade the lower part. Then for the second inequality, we have x is greater than negative 1. Wherein we are going to search first for our x is equal to negative 1. So we have here. Since we have here greater than, so you are going to use dotted line. And then you are going to decide where we are going to shade. Is it to the left or to the right? Since greater than, so we have to shade to the right because if you are going to check 0, it is true. So to the right will be shaded. Okay? And then we already have here the double shaded region. Okay? So again, until this boundary line, okay, sorry if it is not straight, and this one. Okay? So these are all the points that will satisfy our given inequality. Okay? Is there any question? So I hope you really understood how we are going to graph a system of linear inequality. So that's all for this morning or for this day. Thank you and God bless.